Is your coffee mug full today? What are you doing to fill it up? In other words, what are you doing for yourself today, spiritually, mentally, and physically? Hey guys, thank you for tuning into my page. My name is That Elmo Guy, and I am actually really excited about today's video because we're finally going to start talking about the champion. So just a little FYI, the champion video was supposed to be the very first video that I was ever going to make. It's really what inspired this whole channel in the first place. And I'm also really excited about today's video because we're finally going to talk about RuPaul's Drag Race. So I am a huge fan of RuPaul's Drag Race. I owe a lot to RuPaul and to the show just in general. I've learned a lot about myself in the last couple of years and just about gay culture and just drag altogether. And honestly, I don't even know if I would be the same person I am right now or if I'd even be here if it wasn't for RuPaul's Drag Race. The last couple days I've just been thinking of ways to effectively explain what the champion is, and I think the best way to do that is really just by talking about RuPaul's Drag Race first. I was introduced to the world of drag back in 2013. At that point, YouTube became my main music medium, and because it just had all the songs that I really wanted to listen to at specific times during the day, and Spotify and Pandora didn't really give me that. So yeah, YouTube became something pretty dominant in my life. So at that point, that's when this clip by a drag queen called Willem appeared on my homepage. So I clicked on it, and all of a sudden I was just teleported into this different world. It was a world that I've always known, but I've never been a part of. And I just watched the 3 minutes, and I was just mesmerized by this other life that I haven't experienced yet. And so I continued watching some of his videos and continued to just start. I was just curious. At that point in my life, I wasn't really. I was out, but I was still trying to act normal. I wanted to pass, and this was something that started speaking to me more and more. So a couple months later, another clip showed up on my YouTube, and it was for RuPaul's Drag Race. Specifically, it was the recap journey for Jinx Monsoon's Season 5 win. And yeah, I watched it, and honestly, I had no idea what was going on. I didn't understand. I just watched, and what I did pick up was this was a very goofy, very weird, she was just completely different than every other drag queen on that season. And she was very meek, she was very quiet, but somehow she was slaying every challenge, every episode. She was dominating, she was talented, she was hysterical, and eventually she won the whole thing. So I became interested in the show. I wanted to see how someone like Jinx could dominate a competition like this. Yeah, so before I keep going, I'm just going to give a little synopsis of the show. So Drag Race, I guess the premise of each episode is there's a mini challenge, then there's a main challenge, and there's a runway, then they get critiqued for the runway and the main challenge. And then the two worst of the main challenge and the runway have to do a lip sync for your life. So the bottom two have to lip sync against each other, and whoever does better gets to stay. And the one that does worse, she gets eliminated. And they do that up till the top three. I wasn't expecting to like the show at that point because I wasn't into fashion. I didn't know anything about transgender. I didn't know much about gay culture or drag, but even with all that, I continued watching. And actually very early on, the show was no longer a show for me. It was real life. It was school. It was teaching me how to live, how to be a better person. In episode 2 of season 5, during one of the critiques, one of the drag queens broke down and started crying. At that point, I really wasn't sure what was going on. From what I knew of this drag queen, she during the first two episodes, she was very reserved and she looked like she was going through something and she just wasn't there. And I was just, in a way, I was concerned because I wasn't sure what was going on. And then she revealed during the critique that she was a transgender woman. And at that point, I had no idea what that meant. So I had to pause the episode and I looked it up. And then I came back after doing my research. And the way Rue was counseling her, and the way all her sisters, all the other drag queens were really supporting her, that kind of started showing me this is more than just a TV show. This is life. And I decided to keep watching because I was just expecting to see a bunch of men in dresses arguing and, you know, taking their claws out and scratching each other until one of them wins. Then episode 7 came around and another queen broke down, but this time it happened after the lip sync, and this time it was for a completely different reason.
It just hit me like not feeling wanted and not being good enough. I just feel like my mom never wanted me, and my mother left my sister and myself at a bus stop when I was 3. And I remember it like it was yesterday, and like I come off as this strong character. I try to stay so strong, but it was so weak at the same time. It just hurts that I was left. Nobody cared.
Roxy was an outsider too. The world had told her that she didn't belong and that no one wanted her. I mean, even her own mom didn't want her and like left her at a bus stop. That, to me, that's, if that happened to me, that would be enough proof where I'd be like, man, I don't belong anywhere. No one will ever love me. So that struck a chord with me, and I've never felt like I related to something so much as that scene. And then Rue said,
"We love you. And you are so welcome here. You know, we as gay people, we get to choose our family. You know, we get to choose the people that we're around. You know what I'm saying? I am your family. We are a family here. I love you."
So we as gay people get to choose our own family. That whole, I guess that whole segment just really resonated with me because I've come from a place where I haven't been really loved. I have loved ones, but there's been points in my life where I was just completely alone. And knowing that there are people out there that love me, that resonated with me. And at that point I knew RuPaul's Drag Race was going to impact my life. It was going to completely change who I am. And I think that's, this segment is really stemming from these, realizations that I've been having. Yeah, so let's get to the main point of the video. This idea of the champion. And I think the best way to describe what the champion is through using this clip.
Don't become bitter because I mean, you have every right to become bitter, and your mind will tell you, F this, F all of this. Don't take the bait. Continue to love yourself. Continue to love yourself, because that's where your power is. That's where your power is, right there. So do that. Do that.
So the champion is that reminder to continue to love yourself. The champion is that thing that pulls you out of that dark place. It's that voice that tells you you're just looking at that one piece of the puzzle that's true and ugly, but you're not looking at all the other pieces that are true and beautiful. It's the champion is that voice that tells you you're letting your inner saboteur just focus on this one piece. You need to look at all of it. That's what the champion is. RuPaul's Drag Race taught me that I am worth it. Even though I'm weird and different and just socially awkward, I am worth it. And in the situations where I don't believe that, my champion does. And she can get me out of that mentality if I let her. And you see the struggle with the champion and inner saboteur on the show. You see how these talented and successful queens listen to their champion and succeed. But at the same time, you see very talented and successful drag queens who listen to their inner saboteur and fail and then get eliminated. So relating this whole video together, during season 5, Jinx Monsoon was that weird, kooky, just like out of place drag queen. And not only that, she was also bullied by some of the other queens. Anytime she did great, they'd make her feel bad. They would always be condescending to her. So there were two realities that were enough to feed her inner saboteur. The fact that she's weird and she was being bullied. But despite of all that, she ignored her inner saboteur. She ignored everything that was going on and she just focused on herself. She listened to her champion, and as a result, her talent just came through. Honestly, like, Jinx is one of the funniest drag queens I've ever seen. I honestly think she is the funniest drag queen. I know other people would disagree with me, but I haven't seen someone up to her level, because she didn't just listen to her inner saboteur. She didn't just focus on the fact that she's weird and that people don't like her, that they're willing to bully her. She focused on what she's good at. She focused on all of her, on the fact that she's funny, she's talented, she's just an amazing drag queen. And as a result, she killed the competition. She won season 5. So Jinx is the prime example of what the champion can do in your life and what you can do in your life when you don't listen to that inner saboteur, when you let yourself become who you are meant to become. So that's my initial spiel on RuPaul's Drag Race. I could go on and on, but I think for like right now, I think this is good for this video. But I am such a huge fan, and it's really just a show about self-love. And Ru says it in every episode: if you can't love yourself, how the hell are you going to love somebody else? And it's true. Like, you can't, how are you going to have functional relationships when you don't even have a functioning relationship with yourself? So coming up, we'll continue talking about how to develop a champion. This video is specifically just introducing what the champion is. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun making this video, so I hope you guys get something out of it. And other than that, it looks like my coffee mug is empty, so I have to go refill it. Have a great day. Bye.